This is not what I signed up for. I've just come in from a long day's work and I was expecting to see an update for Battlefield, patch notes, all the different stuff that you get with one of these updates that would be interesting to read through, download the update for the game and then get involved online and have some fun with the updates that DICE will have brought to the game. But that's not the case. I've come in and been absolutely blasted with this ridiculous microtransactions update to the game. Now, cosmetics are a massive talking point in Battlefield, and so are microtransactions, but most people thought that with the introduction of microtransactions we'd see more cosmetics that could both be purchased through the game with company coins that many people have been stockpiling for months and months on end, and at the same time, if you didn't have any, or maybe you just don't care about money, you've got loads of it and you're willing to pay for microtransactions, you could shortcut and buy all the cosmetics that way. That's not the case, and DICE have really annoyed me because what they've done is locked a load of the really cool cosmetics, pretty much all of the epic ones, behind a paywall. You can't get them with company coin, you have to pay, and it's a lot of money you have to pay as well. Around $7.50 for a weapon camo, and that's just extortionate. It's too much in a AAA game that also cost a lot of money to buy in the first place. If you bought the deluxe edition, which I'll get into in a second in this video, it's something that's annoyed me for the longest time, you could have spent £80 on this game, and then having to spend another $7.50 per weapon skin is extortionate, ridiculous, and I think it's a free-to-play model in a AAA full-price game that just has no place at all, and it reminds me really of Battlefront 2, and we all know how that ended up. Many people in the community were asking for these boins a couple of days ago. Many people, including myself, thought that they would be fine, and as long as it was cosmetics only, it couldn't really hurt the game, right? If you played the game enough, you could bypass purchasing things with real money and everybody's a winner. But that's not what happened, and DICE have really, I think, burned the last bit of good faith that many people had with Battlefield 5. The prices are extortionate, the way the currency works is not good at all, and they've gone against that initial picture that they showed and flashed around on Reddit and Twitter a couple of months ago when they were talking about the boins, and I've got that on screen now. The way it was supposed to work is you could purchase everything with company coins or bypass it with real life money, and DICE have gone back on their word and forced you to buy some cosmetics with real money, and you can't, of course, grind the game in order to get the cosmetics, which really sucks, especially as it's a full price game. If it was a free to play, that's a business model that has worked in the past, but for this, it's just not one that is going to fly. Deluxe Edition players should get the cosmetic starter packs in compensation for the disaster that was the airlifts at the start of the game. If you bought the Deluxe Edition, you were entitled to 20 different airlifts that were supposed to drop each week, and you'd get yourself a nice new cosmetic. I was happy with the Deluxe Edition when it came out. I got to play the game a bit early, I got a couple of extra skins, and then I was thinking this airlift system would drop me a new helmet or a new weapon skin or something to show off every week for 20 weeks. And during the first 20 weeks, the first few months of the game coming out, it's fairly popular, and you tend to want to show off things more than maybe you do now, 6 months or so after the game came out. However, that wasn't the case, and no one really got access to anything cool. If you bought the Deluxe Edition, you got some really mediocre skins, and everyone was pretty annoyed about it. Now, most people could look and say, well, Battlefield 5 was rushed, and maybe they didn't have the cosmetics to give out, and that's why they were doing it the way they were. But now, all of these cosmetics have come out. I can pretty much confirm, although I don't have any actual data for this, but I reckon DICE have been sitting on a lot of cosmetics and only decided to save them because of boins being delayed and they wanted people to pay for them, and that is what's happened. You do have two different packs out at the minute, the Battlefield 5 starter pack, which contains a bit of currency and then a couple of weapon skins, and then the premium starter pack that contains 3,500 Battlefield currency, and then a load of different vehicle skins, soldier skins, and some weapon skins, which is really nice, but again, you have to pay for this. This is on top of a game that already cost a lot of money in the first place, especially if you bought that Deluxe Edition, which turned out to be a complete waste of money, and pretty much everyone that bought it feels ripped off, and that's enough for me to say that it is a waste of money. If the community say it is, it's not a couple of people complaining, it's pretty much everybody. which is a massive statement. The DICE need to sit up and listen to this and really consider what they're doing to this community that has supported them through a disastrous marketing campaign for Battlefield 5 and a complete mess of a game when it came out compared to what we were expecting to get. People are still playing and supporting them, and they return the favour like this. I am not impressed, and microtransactions in a game like this, it's a very touchy subject anyway, and you have to get it right. We've seen it with Battlefront 2, and so shortly after that disaster, they've thrown another one our way. Now, on another note, the cosmetics themselves are fine. They have been pretty lackluster so far in the game, but the new ones that have come out do look great. It's the ones that I was expecting to be getting in the game anyway, so I can't be annoyed at them for that. The actual devs that have come up with these designs, they're all fine, they look great, and I think that, money aside, it's a very good addition to the game. The big problem is, though, that you have to pay a lot of money for these. 750 coins for certain things, for the rares, so the soldier skins, the weapon skins. I think that equates to £7.50 or $7.50 each. That's a lot of money for one individual skin in a game with hundreds. So really, that's where my major gripe comes in. The fact that you cannot purchase everything with company coins, and of course, the boins themselves cost a load of money, and you're going to have to break the bank in order to run around in some skins that most of us thought we'd be getting when the game came out, and they've been stockpiled for this ridiculous microtransaction update. Now, it is fine that you disagree with me. Some people believe that the game is one thing and then cosmetics are another thing, and if you have to pay extra for those, that's fine. I play quite a few games that are full price games, and then on the side there are cosmetics, and sometimes I'll purchase some cosmetics, but usually it's fairly scaled, so you can get most of the stuff by grinding through the game and putting in extra hours. And that's the approach I thought Battlefield or DICE were going to take with Battlefield. So if you played enough of the game, you could then unlock the cosmetics. Or if you wanted a shortcut, you could just buy them. And I think that's a fair compromise. And that is what we saw with that initial game economy picture that I've been showing on screen throughout this video. It really shows you that everything can be achieved by playing the daily missions, special assignments, and ranking up to the mediocre rank 50 that everyone reached within a couple of weeks. But you know what I mean, you play the game enough, you'll get your cosmetics, your gear, your weapons, your vehicles, and your skill tree upgrades. Battlefield currency will shortcut the cosmetics. Now, I don't really mind them shortcutting other things too, but as they showed with that game economy picture, real world money will get you cosmetics and save you grinding the game. For those people that can only play a couple of hours a week and don't really care, I don't mind, that's okay. But DICE have gone back on that game economy picture, and some cosmetic items, all of the nice ones, if I'm going to be honest, can only be purchased with real money, and they're very expensive. That sucks. The argument about premium versus live service has been cropping up as well recently, and I think it's going to be front page news alongside this Boins update. The Battlefield coins are there to purchase cosmetics, and the reason they are there, I think, is because premium has gone. We've moved to a live service, so once you've bought the game, there's nothing else you can spend money on. And premium used to be that additional bit of money that they'd get from, I don't know, 10% of the player base who'd buy premium, and then that's how they earned the additional money after the game released, and of course additional sales from the original vanilla section of the game. Now we're over to a live service, there's nothing else you can buy once you've bought the initial game, so these microtransactions are supposed to make up for that, and I think it was a pretty fair way to do things, assuming we'd get the same content that we got with premium. We haven't got that, we've hardly got any maps. Firestorm is a big addition, yes, and I would say that that is something that in itself should have been free to play, but as it wasn't, it is a nice addition to the game. And then on top of that, you have regular updates, fixes to the game, but whether it's a live service or not, that is something that should be coming to all multiplayer games anyway. Even free-to-play games have regular updates, and games that cost £80 have regular updates. It doesn't really matter what sort of service you're trying to offer here, premium or a live service, they should all have bug fixes at regular intervals. Going back to premium at this stage is not going to fix anything, however. I do think it was a better service with Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1 showing that. However, if we did go back to a premium model, microtransactions would almost certainly remain. So you'd be spending even more money and the content would be drip fed to you in the same way it has been with Battlefield 5. The way this needs to be fixed is DICE need to know, and EA, to be honest, need to know that this is not the way you do microtransactions. I'm surprised they've got it so wrong, especially with a game that has had so much criticism over the last 6 months to 1 year. And this is just another nail in the coffin of a game that I am wishing and hoping would succeed. But it's almost as if DICE are doing everything they can to kill it, and I really can't understand why. I really do feel sorry for those people that were grinding the game in order to stockpile company coins in anticipation for new content and new cosmetics that they could purchase, because a lot of them now are going to be on 50 to 100,000 company coins. Nothing they can do with that. Maybe they can buy little bits and pieces that appear in the armory, but all of the epic stuff is non-purchasable with company coins, so that really sucks. A way that DICE could have got around this, and I really think it's something they should still look at because there is time to salvage this, is you could have timed exclusives that can be bought with real Battlefield coins, real money. They would be there for a week, maybe 2 weeks, or maybe it's a one-off, a really special thing like the Elites. They are purchasable with real money only, but everything else can be grinded with company coins. And I'd still prefer everything, all cosmetics, to be purchased with company coins or shortcutted with real-life money, but that's not going to happen. We all know the way that DICE and EA operates. Something has to be hidden behind a paywall, and if it could just be one or two things, some of the really high-tier stuff, that could be acceptable. Not perfect, but acceptable. At the minute, there is far too much stuff hidden behind that paywall, and it is just grinding to see yet another problem with the game, basically because of money and greed, and going back on what they initially said. The pricing of all the Battlefield coins are shown on screen now. As you can see, the Battlefield 5 Premium Starter Pack will set you back $30. The Battlefield currency then starts at $5 for 500, $10 for 1,050, $20 for 2,200, and $30 for 3,500, with the maximum being $50 for 6,000. That is obviously the best deal, but the most money. It's extortionate, but what can you do? That's the way DICE have decided to price it. So let me know in the comments what you think of this video. I have just come in without a script, as many of my videos have been recently. I've just spoken my mind about this because it's really annoyed me. I've been enjoying Battlefield Firestorm a lot. I've got some projects I'm working on at the minute, including a nice Battlefield Firestorm Top Plays, which is coming soon. And I was hoping that this update today and this news would have been really good, but it hasn't been. It's been exactly the opposite. It's upset me. It's upset a lot of other Battlefield fans, and we're going to be seeing, I think, a lot of backlash around these decisions that have been made, and hopefully EA and DICE see this and change it very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.